What's up, guys? Green Tea Afternoon here, and I just wanted to talk about how I've pretty much statistically proven that Vanishing Line is going to be the best anime to come out this year. And this is an unscripted rant, by the way. I didn't really have time to pump out a script for this because episode 1 just came out and I really wanted to talk about it now. So I'll start off with the things that no one can really deny. The protagonist is extremely cool. It's a really awesome dynamic to have, the guy that's like 8 feet tall and protects, the girl. I don't know how old we don't really know how old the female protagonist is in this, but she's probably around 15, and I will say we didn't get too much actual character development in this episode, but there were a lot of cool scenes with the concept of what these characters could be, like when they're in the diner after they just fought off the horror that they had to fight. And the girl is like traumatized because she's never seen anything like this, and the guy's just eating this massive steak, which, by the way, the reason that steak was rare is because that when you have a steak that big, you just can't cook it all the way through or you'll burn the outside. So he's basically eating this raw piece of meat, having a good old time because he's done all this kind of stuff before, and the girl's just traumatized. It reminded me a lot of Rick and Morty, how Rick will see things or do things and just kind of like traumatize Morty, and it just gets worse as the episodes goes on. So definitely reminds me a lot of that show. And also another thing that no one can really deny is the soundtrack is amazing. It's extremely metal, as people would say. I know it's an overused term, but it really reminded me of what Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress should have been. We're not too many episodes in yet to see if the story's going to be good, but I'll get into why the story's probably going to be good soon. But yeah, so the soundtrack is undeniably great. And also, this is an original story. It's not based off of a manga, and that's a good thing because usually mangas are really hard to translate into anime. Like sometimes there's a problem where the shots will just look exactly like they are, in the manga, like panels from a manga, and it doesn't really translate that well into animation, and that can be a problem. So it's good that this is an original story that they're working with. Oh, and it's also gonna be 24 episodes. Not 12, which may be concerning to some people since episode 1 had so much animation in it. That's the thing, this show is so well animated, and I think it's gonna stay that way. Because I did a frame-by-frame analysis, and yeah, so much of this show is running at 24 FPS, which is just completely unheard of. That's why I told my friends when I sat all 3 of them down yesterday and made them watch it, is that this show has more animation in the first episode than every other show that came out this year combined. So if that's something you'd like to watch, if you like things that are that well animated, go ahead and watch this episode because it's really even more than, I can't hype it up enough. And now my final 2 points that, some people might disagree with, but I've actually gone through and, again, done my frame-by-frame analysis, which I'll put up some frames along the screen here, along with some lines that I've drawn and things to prove that this show is actually extremely well directed, because in the forums for this first episode, a lot of people say that the fight scene, which half of this episode is a fight scene, believe it or not, that the fight scene is really badly directed and there's too much camera shake. But if you just look at some of these scenes, like the way the camera draws your eye to certain things and then transitions perfectly to the next scene, is one step above where any show even needs to be. Honestly, it's very well directed, very well put together. Whoever's composing this series is doing a really great job. That's what I'm trying to say. And also, I still can't believe that this director, this is only his second show that he's ever done. So he either must be naturally talented or the people working on this show just must be crazy. I swear, we don't know who the key animators are, but I swear Yutaka Nakamura has to be working on some of this. Just the way certain things animate give me the feeling that he might be working on this project. But this is by Studio Mappa, and I know that Nakamura really only works for Bones, but then again, he did go over to Madhouse for a while to work on One Punch Man, so hey, maybe he's here working on Vanishing Line. I don't know. We'll hopefully find out in the future. Alright, and my last point is, and this is the ultimate, get hype moment, is that this show, people would probably be worried, right? Okay, episode 1 was way better than any show we got this season in terms of animation. How is episode 2 possibly going to deliver? The only way to really find out is to look at the previews. Well, at first, anyways, I thought that the only way to figure this out was to kind of analyze the previews for the second episode. And it looked like we would get some action and there would be some good animation in it, but we really didn't have any idea, what's the budget of this show? How are they going to deliver for all 24 episodes? But I found out in some forum threads that the main writer, Amemiya, is apparently, is independently wealthy. Here's a post I got from /A, Amemiya is hilariously fucking rich, and he has been paying for Goro out of pocket since its inception. It's both a vanity project and basically a way to make sure his studio full of successors and understudies have a strong portfolio for when he or the IP dies, and they can move on to greener pastures. My apologies. So yeah, the writer is independently wealthy. It's a vanity project. He's willing to, and there are many other posts that back this up. This is only the first one, but so this man is hilariously rich, as everyone describes, and yeah, I just don't think budget will be a problem. So yeah, that's all I had to say about this show, and I will talk to you later. Check out the first episode wherever you can.